you check the children? Show a little match
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Robert Duell.
Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are doing a patron-requested review. This is a request from Heather Briley. We actually just finished the SK-requested commentary of this movie, but we are going to be doing a review of it for Heather, and we are going to be talking about Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which I have been touting as one of my favorites for a long, long time. And honestly, it had been a while since I actually watched it from beginning to end, and after watching it, I gotta say, I feel completely 100% vindicated. I think that this movie holds up like a motherfucker. I love it. It's so fun. It's still scary. I adore the hell out of this movie. Robert? Fuego, why don't you go first?
No, I am 100% good.
All right.
No, I absolutely, I love the shit out of this movie. And like I said in the beginning of the commentary, like it's been probably, I would say about 5, 6 or so years before or since I watched it, so it was basically kind of going back into a new movie. So it was basically getting to experience for a first time. I enjoy the shit out of the Killer Klowns, between the practical effects and everything like that. Like it was they had the nice little balance of comical, whimsical, but also dark 80s horror. Mm-hmm. That was a nice little balance, and it was very well done. Wiggle.
This was my first time watching this in its entirety, as I said during the commentary. And
you finally finished it.
I know. It was like catching a little bit here on like Sci-Fi Channel over the years, or at a friend's house, or whatever. But first time watching in a cognizant state from beginning to end, and I appreciate everything that this did to mess up kids. I don't know if I love it, and I think a nostalgia factor has a lot to do with that, but I still greatly appreciate it, most notably
1987.
Notably the design of the clown. So this was like it was 86, if I'm not mistaken, which was really just the resurgence of or maybe just like the first time clowns really started to scare people, but there still wasn't a visual correlation. Yeah. Stephen King's It on TV didn't come for a few years later, but it's that delightful mixture of camp and getting away with a lot more with a PG-13 rating than I think you can now, and a little more violence than I recall, and some great creature design even beyond the clowns here and there. So while it's not like a all-time favorite, greatly appreciate and would love to see a sequel. So yeah, let's get it done.
Marcia.
I think this movie is super fun. You obviously can't take it too seriously. Would I say it was terrifying? No, but I think it is worth its merit, if that says a lot.
Absolutely.
The first time I watched it, I like I said on the commentary, like first time I watched it, like the level of hype was like up here, and then when I watched it, I was like, I don't understand. And then we did the horror nights, and I was like, this is super cool. And then I've had space since then, and now I'm like, okay, I totally, like, I'm digging it. I think it's fun. I think it's campy. I think it's, like, innovative in a way, like, of how can you make clowns at their true essence terrifying? And I think they did a great job doing that. So there's a lot of fun moments in this movie.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah! I mean, it's not like heavy.
Especially the goofiness of it.
Yeah, it's not heavy. It's a fun cult horror movie, and you just like there's just like something fun around every corner of it, which makes it entertaining. So, is it my favorite horror scary movie? Probably not, but at the same time, I really appreciated it. I had fun with it, and that's the point, right?
What about for campy horror though? Because this is more of that campy kind of silly
be up
horror.
There for that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
this
it's super light, but it is enjoyable, and like Cecil was saying throughout, like if I was face to face, that would be flipping like atrocious. Like thanks.
Any of them. Any of them.
Oh yeah,
you'd
have a heart attack and shit your pants at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. But like, I mean, it's still like claymation in its best. So
Claymation.
well, just the look of the clowns, I can see that comparison
see that.
a little bit. Yeah.
But it's still kind of. But at the same time, like, if I saw like a claymation thing, it's 8 feet tall, like no.
Well, if anyone saw a golem, you know,
No
they'd be freaked out too.
Yeah.
Well, and also the faces
still a
and
lot of fun.
that kind of pudgy oiliness, kind of like clay, and the movement of
The
like
fact
the
that
eyes
it
and
moved, yes, like the
expressiveness
big
and everything.
fat one that already had a smile this big that got even
Yeah,
bigger.
it just stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so that's the thing. The overall thoughts, obviously, we all appreciate it. Story wise, it's just about a bunch of alien clowns that descend on this midwestern town, and the local sheriff doesn't believe it, and a few people do, and you know, they don't do a whole lot against them, and the clowns are silly but scary, and I loved the story, and the acting is hammy to the max, but it's, you know, a lot of the guys are serious. Like the main two people, as hammy as the story is, they keep in the zone, and they make me believe that they're in this world. So story wise and acting wise, just kind of combining them, I thought I really like it. I really like it.
No, absolutely. Especially like I'm not more so focused on like the actors of the clowns themselves. Those I think outshined probably even some of our main actors. Like, granted, yeah, they were good and everything like that, but it's the killer clowns. That's our main focus and everything on this movie. So being able to kind of get the articulation between the body movement, but also the facial movements, that I think is some of the best work that you can do is getting those matched up.
Well, and as opposed to focusing on acting like you just did, I'm just going to jump back to the story, at least as far as the script goes, because it's really about all of these hilarious and yet grotesque like kill scenes and setups and stuff. And yes, they do, since it's PG-13, they cut away a little bit.
It's
and
that circus
they have
campiness.
They have to kind of straddle that line, so to speak, that tightrope, you know, which kind of makes sense in this regard. But between the fast food scene, between the initial candy, cotton candy reveal, between the stuff with the clothes hampers, I mean, there's a lot of really cool written beats in this movie, but they wouldn't be as effective if not for effects, which effective without effects, and you know, great practical creature design, makeup, and all that other stuff, which we will eventually get to.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just jump to it because, I mean, Marcia, you want to hit on anything acting or story-wise?
I mean, it's all I mean,
About on the same page.
I'm on the same page. I think everybody did a good job in it. Like, there's nothing. They all like fit the world that they created.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. You have to appreciate the world to appreciate the acting and everything that goes with it.
The serious silliness.
Yeah, like everyone feels like they fit in this realm, which makes it so much more enjoyable. So I mean, that's what I would say. If you're gonna go in there and like expecting like, you know, top of the line, like dramatic acting, and like that's not what it is.
This is Steven Spielberg.
This is not what that is. But what is cool is that everybody committed to the world they were playing, and
Very
they
much
created this world and this phenomenon that is to be appreciated.
Well, it's
I totally think it all holds up.
Well, yeah, unless it's like what we're talking about too, even during the commentary of kind of going out of your way of going off of the script a little bit, like when dude's sitting up on the hood of the car.
It's like crouched up.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Yeah.
Those are things like you just kind of take out of the script, make it a little bit more organic to believable on your characters.
Yeah. Now, getting to the effects, obviously we have
free
to.
run,
This is, I mean, there's a little bit of computer, you know, enhancement at times, digital enhancement as best as they could in 1987, but it is mostly like 95% practical.
Oh, I'd say at least 85 to 90%.
It is just awesome. Each individual clown is unique and scary, and like the ones that they choose to focus on, even more so. You'd be hard pressed to hit many other 80s movies that did effects this well. Obviously, The Thing. I think The Blob is probably up there as well. But quite frankly, Killer Klowns from Outer Space is up there with The Thing and The Blob as far as the amount of great practical effects there are.
For sure.
Most definitely, especially on like the lower budget end side, I would say, of the movies. And this one, I would actually say this probably might be like The Thing and shit like that. That was more obviously a higher budget, straight theatrical, obviously release.
I would wonder.
I want to
like,
say
how much more though.
I want to say like I think this was a theatrical release, but I'm pretty sure this was still a low budget movie. It was still considered those B movies of the '80s era.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even your B movies were still a large enough budget for that time era.
Let's be honest. This had its biggest run on Joe Bob and Up
Oh,
All Night.
absolutely.
Yeah, it also
Absolutely.
be
All that, the
discovered.
USA.
Yeah.
All that is discovered on, like,
the Monster
VHS.
Vision shit. Yeah.
Which is fine. A lot of the best horror movies are there.
Yeah.
But
And that's why they have the cult status that they do.
honestly, as much as I talk about how well the clowns still look, I'm kind of surprised at still how well each individual clown actually holds
And we're
up.
obviously, we were
Because
talking about
it
that
doesn't
through the
need
commentary.
the CG enhancement of making the smile bigger.
Yep.
Right? That's such a CG thing they do now. But no, they just built the prosthetics to literally smile bigger.
Yeah, it's just motor,
It's like,
just motor mechanics and everything inside the face.
I
That's
love
all
it.
it is.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like, if it was a combination of, well, presumably from what I gauge, somebody in a costume,
Yeah.
but then
Oh, yeah.
also, you know, some like a team working.
Oh yeah,
the
no, you definitely had a
movements
team
as
back
well.
behind there.
Puppeteering, yeah.
Puppeteering and everything like that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It's the same thing with
It
obviously
was
all
the
the
thing
old,
Henson was
old
doing
movies.
with
Yep.
a lot of stuff, you know, like
The Labyrinth and
well,
Dark
like
Crystal.
the Ninja Turtles movie as
Dark-
well.
So,
Yeah, Ninja
so
Turtles,
Fuego,
yeah.
you had seen clips before, so what do you think now seeing all the special effects from front to back?
I had no idea that this movie kind of went for it in certain instances when it did. There's one bit, without spoiling what transpires, with a bunch of like pseudo like kind of biker, like, you know, punk, like, you know, hard rock kind of guys. I did not remember that, or
What are
maybe
you gonna do?
Yeah.
Knock my block off?
or maybe it was edited out for TV when I saw
Maybe.
it, and they didn't even
That's
allow.
That's the
you
part
know,
that's
to
so.
send-
That's
yeah.
Friday
honestly-
8, right?
Yeah.
Friday 8,
Yeah.
the boxer.
I could honestly see that part
because
getting
there's
cut
just
out
that
and
one
nobody knowing
glimpse
if it
that
was
you
watched on
see,
TV.
you know,
Just
and
the headlock.
Yep.
I mean, I most definitely remembered the
Ali.
weird, like, snake creatures almost that we get during the bathroom scene, which scared me when I think it was 20 or
definitely gonna try
21
and
when
make
I
those.
first saw that
If you
scene,
can make even one.
and it unsettled me. But
I gotta get through Palmer first.
Yeah, I'm down.
yeah,
Marsha?
yeah. But
Thoughts on the
I'm
effects?
impressed.
I thought, you know, for what it is, I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, I mean, I'm a fan of the Labyrinth and Dark Crystal.
Absolutely.
Dark
So-
Crystal.
Labyrinth is better.
But if you're a fan of
Labyrinth is far
so that's-
superior.
So
That's
I
a
get the
debatable one, yeah.
puppeteering
I don't
part
care,
of
I'll fight
it,
you on
and,
it.
and they do take it in this like dark level in a fun light. So I 100% get behind it, and the little details that they do with the clown is very appreciative. But the set design is really what
Yeah, you're right.
steals the cake for me, because when
It
you're
grounds it all in a reality.
it does. It creates that world
Mhm.
that makes sense for the movie that you're watching.
You know what's really interesting about why it works so well is because it's the highlighted corridors that are so colorful, but everything around it is black.
Yeah.
So you're not focused
Well-
on the actual interior structure of the ship.
Yeah.
Which feels
It's just corridors that feel like clown corridors.
Right.
So your brain isn't fighting itself being like, there's clown, but it's also a spaceship, so there's an alien aesthetic. It doesn't make you do that. It's just
Right.
like, here's
Well,
just the
that's what I
clowny
was-
shit.
That's what I was
that
talking about
fits.
during the commentary and everything about the set design and overall utilization of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was also a way they were able to really kind of cheat it with their budgetary constraints, presumably, because that goes all the way back to like the sci-fi you would see in the 50s, where
Yeah.
you only lit it enough to give it that atmospheric
True.
aspect, and that's I mean, it's smart filmmaking. You know,
does-
it's knowing the budget you have to work with, and even if the movie
Not
isn't like
overshooting your
an
shit.
abundance of intelligence, you
It
could
does
tell they
give
were
me
very
that,
smart
that
about
visual
the way
Star
they.
Trek feel.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Because
fair.
this was before TNG and stuff, and so that I mean, the stuff to work with was Star Wars, Star Trek.
It
and,
was that old
you
school
know,
set
Yeah.
building, right?
Yep.
We're like, if we're gonna
Your
sell this, we have to
soundstage.
put it on camera.
Yeah, but just
Yeah.
to mix in the demented circus aspect to
Yeah.
it,
Love
and
it.
we know the Insane Clown Posse and so many other films
So let
that
me
came
let
later.
me posit this. Can you imagine if someone nowadays, like, if Willy's Wonderland had gone as far as creating all the characters to this extent, and then have Nicolas Cage go up against that. Like, we need people that aren't trying to just shortcut the process.
I can see the
Give us
inspiration.
all of this energy, and
Okay.
also give us that sort of story. Nowadays, I think it would do really, really well.
That kind of makes me
100%.
sad because
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten around to watching Willie
That's
yet.
it's a film
I
that
haven't watched it, but I can
I was
feel
really-
it's a film that derives a lot of
You're
inspiration
hoping on
from
that
this.
movie.
I
It's
think.
it's fun, but it's not as good as you. Hope
I
it's
took
gonna
it. I
be.
took
True,
it honestly,
true.
basically as Nick Cage going against 5 Nights at Freddy's.
It's
It
essentially what
is,
it
but
is,
he doesn't
but
talk. He's wordless. He's
Yeah.
a silent protagonist.
It's one of the oddest
all he
underutilizations
does
of a
is
guy
in
who is
between
so
his,
charismatic.
when he's taking breaks from cleaning the place, he plays pinball and does like a dance.
It's
But
so-
he's silent the
It-
entire time.
yeah,
He
this
doesn't
is,
say anything.
No, he's a silent protagonist.
It's very
At
strange.
times he'll be like, ugh, ugh,
Yeah,
but no, he doesn't
grunting
say
and
any
groaning
words.
and stuff.
I
And he drinks a lot of soda.
Energy drinks.
I don't know
Energy
how to
on
feel
this
about that. I
Well,
wanted to see Nick Cage at his cagiest.
you don't get it in that.
His,
I want
it's
his. I want.
silence cagey.
I want his
Yeah.
cagiest cage of the cage.
It's his silence cagiest.
Yeah, so if it boils down to like making
Alright,
your
well, I guess
decision
we
to watch
should wrap
this
it
one.
up.
Alright, yeah, let's get back on the Killer Clowns
I know
real
how
quick.
we all seem to like just concisely feel about this.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
that's just real quick because I'm like, obviously we touched a little bit on the practical effects. Obviously, we all I think concur that the practical effects of this movie still hold up for
sure.
what 35 years or 40 years or whatever since it came out.
For sure. So,
Yeah.
So
yes. So,
Fun
thank you
music,
very
too.
much to Heather for
Yeah.
requesting this for review.
music was great in this movie.
The music is
yeah,
amazing.
that's one thing we definitely didn't touch
Killer
on.
Clowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the music and the score of this movie
But even the
helped
these-
elevate
the-
this
banana,
Yeah.
banana, banana.
See, I couldn't really feel that this time around just because
The volume.
Yeah,
I
we-
feel
yeah.
like if it was all the way up, I would have been able to.
I'll tell you though.
It
I'll be
was
honest,
it was circusy, but at the same time, it was dark and foreboding.
This
And
could
also-
sound like
Nice
I'm
little thing.
saying it just for our purposes, but I'm literally gonna go and watch our walkthrough of the Killer Clowns maze after watching the movie again, just to see. Oh, that
I
was there.
kind of
That was
want
that.
to too. I haven't watched those in a.
Oh,
like,
dude,
a
they're
minute.
so fun. That one specifically was done really
Yeah.
well.
And
I'll
especially
have
if
to
you
go back.
I made sure that because remember we went through that one twice to
Yeah,
make
we
sure we
did.
caught everything.
Yeah.
and especially having
was
rewatched
so
the
good.
film in a few years, maybe just to see how those costumes compare.
Yeah.
to
They were
watching
on
the film.
point. They looked
Yeah.
exactly
Especially-
like
That's
it.
what makes me curious.
The guy
Yeah.
at the beginning when he grabs the tent, like,
Dude, the dude with the blow up dog, the little
Yeah.
balloon
Oh,
dog
yeah,
was
yeah.
there, and he was like, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and he came after you. And
Yeah.
shit. It was fucking
oh,
awesome. So
I miss those days. I can't
they will be back. They will be
Interactivity.
back. So
Goddamn COVID.
thank you
Gotta
very
go
much.
this way.
I want to say thank
We're
you
all
very
gonna
much
go.
to SK for being so patient on his
Thank
commentaries.
you.
Been requesting him
You're
for a
awesome,
while now,
man.
so we appreciate
Hells
it.
yeah,
Love
man.
the shit out
That's
of
the
you.
point. We're getting through all the commentaries next. So
Say thank you.
thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to become a patron, the link is in the description box down below. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
Gracias, Jaime. Fuego.
And remember, oh, sorry, Marcia.
Marcia Parker's still here.
But also for this commentary, though, we do have to thank Heather Briley
Yes.
Which we did.
for this
Well,
commentary.
the review, rather.
Well, the review. The
yes.
review and the commentary was SK.
Yes. So,
Yes.
thank you guys very much. And
You
remember,
got it.
stay
Stay scared. We made it.